ho ho! I'm Father Christmas, currently heading to Glasgow on my airborne sledge to shift a couple of swallies ahead of my usual festive labours. But hang on, who's that Egypt I spy trudging wearily along the canal towards yet another unremarkable forgotten town?
And the same to you, you bearded menace. And watch out where you're driving those reindeer. But to answer your question, it's Alexander Rennie, and whilst you're here, you might as well help out with this week's voiceover.
Kirkintilloch, Dunbartonshire. Population 21,380, rank number 496.
Thanks, old fella, and good luck with the delivery schedule.
You are delivery number 2 billion on our route. Ho, ho, ho.
And so, as we wonder whether the persistent name changes of St. Nicholas and Santa Claus have just been some Hermes/Every style attempt to disassociate himself from bad delivery reviews, it's time for me to welcome you to this festive special of Forgotten Towns. And in a change to the usual running order, first up, we're dipping into the postbag, where we find a missive from Sarah in Leeds. She writes, "Dear Forgotten Towns, whilst I commend your resolute attempt to visit every branch of Sainsbury's local in the United Kingdom, I find the 5-minute running time of each episode to be disappointingly brief. Please consider extending the shows in future and also visiting Wakefield, which houses a particularly commodious outlet with an impressive range of fruit and vegetables." Whilst we forgive you, Sarah, for the fact that you have slightly misinterpreted the nature of our endeavour, we accept that you may just be onto something with the longer running time suggestion. Whilst, frankly, life is too short to do this on a permanent basis, we felt that extending things to a more leisurely 10 minutes for this episode only would afford us additional time to cover not only our visit to Kirkintilloch, but to take a slightly deeper dive into the history and future prospects of the 1,000-Town Challenge in an attempt to dispel these residual misunderstandings which persist. And finally, we can build suitably dramatic tension before answering the question of whether I will, like today's bedding music, be galloping home to the Firth of Clyde to finish my canal walk as planned, or being vanned off to some Glaswegian abattoir like an ignominious failure. All this and more in the next few minutes. I'm walking along the Forth and Clyde Canal. I am still a couple of miles short of Kirkintilloch. Frankly, I'm a wee bit tired. So, whilst I gather my thoughts and my breath and push on for the final hard yards, I suggest you ready yourself up for an evening at the pub, and I'll see you there a wee bit later. May well see you later on then. Cheers. I am in the dining room of the Kincaid House Hotel, Milton Of Campsie. After an annoying additional half-hour's walk off the canal route, I have checked into my Airbnb and made straight for this place before they stopped serving food. Given that the other voice you just heard was the only other diner, that might not have been a bad shout. Still, he's furnished me with an excuse to head round to the bar, so this may yet not be an entirely early night. That's great.
You got everything okay for you?
Fantastic. Good. Just what I needed. Cheers.
No.
So, back out the front door and round to the left.
Yeah.
Thanks very much indeed. Cheers. Alright, pint of lock lemon.
Well, I'm glad you drew my attention to this bar.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is.
Really cosy.
Mind if I join you for a moment? Or
If you're having another half.
Can I get you half?
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want another one before I take the till off?
Are you turning in, or
I'm good, thank you. Yep.
last half, I reckon.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're having one, could I have another half as well, please?
Well,
Nice to meet you, Alex.
absolute
All the
pleasure.
very best.
Yes.
Good morning. I've been enjoying a very civilised overnight stay, courtesy of my hosts, Ruth and Frank at their Airbnb, and I'm going to go grab some breakfast.
Good morning.
There's here and there, there's some homemade granola down at the bottom, which is quite nice.
Ah, in here.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to go and pack up my things, which I reckon probably only take a few minutes. I'm all refreshed and ready to hit the trail again. You find me on the bridge over the River Kelvin on High Street, Kirkintilloch, or slightly damp Tuesday morning. So I look ahead, I can see the old kirk, a couple of handbills, one saying that Eric Prydz will be playing in Braehead Arena, and another saying that the Kirkintilloch players will be staging a production of The Vicar of Dibley next week. I shan't be here for either of those, I'm afraid, because I've got more pressing matters. Initially, the need to walk 17 miles. Cowgate, the main shopping street. Buildings a maximum of 2 stories high. Very solid, made of stone. Nobody mess with these buildings. There's a pub that if I'd had to look for a pub here last night, I would have gone to. But I didn't, I wasn't, and therefore I didn't. Rather interestingly, we have St Mary's and St David's, both Church of Scotland, both appearing to be thriving concerns. Not so much obvious evidence of the competition, which is usually fierce for the glorious 19th century residential properties. Here's the Bowls Club. You're guessing what kind of area I'm in here. It's very nice. And so, sneaking down a cutting between 2 elaborate garden walls, I managed to rejoin the canal. Unfortunately, it started to rain, which isn't massively auspicious, but I'd better get cracking. And as we leave me on the canal to start walking off the remaining miles, it's back to the future me in the studio to remind casual listeners what the hell's just happened and where it's going from here. So, I've just been to Kirkintilloch with its strong mid-table placing in the list of the UK's 1,000 largest settlements. Having hit the ground running in the final quarter of last century, I've been lapping these up with abandon since a bored afternoon with a map and a spreadsheet during lockdown revealed that I had visited exactly 500 of them, merely through my own vague curiosity. Having made solid progress in the past 3 years, I have now progressed to the point where this was my 925th such town, and only 75 remain unvisited. And thanks to the pestering of some misguided individuals who now doubtless regret their actions, I was persuaded that the final 100 might make an adequate topic for podcast coverage. So here we are. And if I keep up the current rate of approximately 1 per week, I suspect that this may keep us all busy into the early part of 2025. Here we find the Cada dedication stone. The legions building the Antonine Wall carved distance and dedication stones to showcase their progress. The replica stone below is dedicated to the 2nd Legion Augusta. So if you thought I was the first poor sap to waste time route marching this way, there are probably a myriad of Roman legionaries who'd take issue with you. I am sat on Swing Bridge at Bowling Harbour. I have completed the walk from Edinburgh to the end of the canal, here where it enters the Clyde. Whilst I am mentally and physically drained, I thank you for joining this festive special. I'll see you in 2024 for season 4 of Forgotten Towns, and like Slade and Father Christmas, wish you a very happy new year. Take it away, boys. Forgotten Towns. Forgotten Towns.